Good morning and welcome back to Question and Research. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, click the bell notification, also comment, like, and share, and follow me on Instagram. Today's topic we will cover technology and emotions. The first video I did, I spoke about how patrons had many concerns about filling out applications. And I could feel the anxiety and the hesitation with using a computer. What I had to explain to some of these patrons who were used to a certain way, and let's first not assume that these were all older people. These were like people in their 50s and 60s that had no clue about technology. I've ran into people who are 18 years old when I was working there that had no clue. So that's why I talked about the digital divide. The digital divide is a separation, it's all about economics, it's all about able to pay for certain services to have access to. And it's difference between, who can afford it and who cannot. So back to my point about job applications. So many people growing up in a certain era thought that you have to go to the exact company where that location is, travel to it, fill out an ask for an application, complete the application. Make sure you have paper resumes. Make sure you're dressed appropriately so they can look at you and see that you are not just wearing anything. So I had to explain this to several people, even some people who were younger than me. No, use the computer. The computer is hooked up to an internet, is hooked up to a web that connects you to everyone in this world. So I had to explain that. They thought it was just easier. Now, if you don't have a job, you live in a place that doesn't really have too many resources. You living in a household where money is not that much money, but you live down a block or two or around the corner from a public library. It's just easier to come to the library. That costs nothing, $0, 0 cents. You could just walk, and the only thing you can do that it will cost is time. So what I explained to them when they will come in, do you have a resume? They'll tell me yes or no. Most times it was no. I asked them, okay, do you have an email address? No. Do you know how to log into the computer that we have available for patrons? No. So first thing I did, I asked them, what company do you want to apply to? I get the name of the company. I was like, this is some things you're going to have to do first before we start filling out any applications. The library provide pencils and paper. First, we need to sign you up for an email because a lot of employers they contact you by email. They don't even call sometimes. They email you. Also sign you up for an email. I need you to write down all the jobs that you have had, dates and positions, and then I need you to write down a description of what you did. Sometimes they didn't even write down any of that. I had to really pull this information out of them because they didn't know what to do. It was just like something that I thought that was very basic. Write down where you work. Where did you work? I don't know these things, and that's what I would tell them. They thought we had a hub of everybody and their information and where they worked and everything. I don't know where they got that from. But that's what it comes when you don't go outside your neighborhood or you don't go to a place that has technology or information. These were young people were thinking that you're supposed to go travel downtown and look for a job when you can just go to your neighborhood library and fill out an application. Once we got through that, we had an hour session. I'll help them type up their resume. I will also help them fill out an application for the job. That took about an hour. Sometimes I have the power to add more time to their session so we can finish and complete everything, and sometimes I didn't. So we had to really work with what we had at that time. So I'm going to give you a story, a personal story about what happened one time. And I have encountered some people who did not want to work with me for whatever reason. It was one lady, she was asking about a pay stub. She barely had a login. She knew she had to use the computer. She barely knew her login. She barely knew her password. She wanted somebody else to help her, but that wasn't their job. The person told her she would help you. She didn't really say it, but her body language told a different story. I don't want her helping her. So I said, so where's your login information? What's the website to where you need to get to? She didn't even have the website correct. I figured that out. I could feel that she was growing very anxious and upset and mad about things. So I was just like, okay, you don't have your login. So she had to call somebody to get her login, and they wrote it down. I said, you need to write that down. You're not gonna remember that. Everybody think they're gonna remember everything. I'm a proponent of pen and paper, and I wrote it down. We had a hard time logging in. I logged in about a good 4 times. She was getting very upset. So she was about to get on the phone and start yelling and screaming. I tried one more time. And before she couldn't even before the person even picked up the phone, before she just started going off, I said, here you go. Now, what do you need to print off? Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, see, all of a sudden the emotions changed. So when people are faced with something new, and she thought because I was young, I didn't know what I was doing, or she wanted to work with somebody older, because some people think older people are going to be able to help you. And we all have had those biases or judgments about people. But if I know what I'm doing and I got you in, she was out of there in less than 5 minutes. I said it costs 15 cents to print. She was gladly to print it. I said, make sure you present your library card. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. And I'll walk you through the printing process. She walked out of there with a smile on her face. She was happy about that. And see, a lot of people that would come to the library, they were like under other different subsidies. They were getting government assistance. And they had and they also posted government like not jobs, but things that would help the community thrive. So if you're going off of income, no telling what that was going to do. That was a life changer for a lot of them. I remember when I worked at the Kelly branch in Chicago, I was seeing things like if you made this amount of money and you lived in a house or an apartment, you can get new installation on your windows, but you had to make a certain amount. And they checked that out. So that's one of the emotions and technology that I experienced. And I also experienced some good things as well, but it was mainly panic, hesitation, because a lot of them faced a lot of judgment. A lot of people did not want to help them. People did not want to explain things to people. They just wanted to toss them aside. And the library in that neighborhood was a major staple for them. So that was one of my experiences, because I actually helped change her mind. She was about to go off. She was about to go off, but I helped change her mind. Thank you again. Subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share. Also follow me on Instagram. Have a blessed day. Thank you again.